Hi there. In this lesson, I want to show you how to build a will to succeed that will make a difference. So when it comes to job hunting and your job search, your will to succeed is just as important as your credentials and your CV. Here are 6 principles that will help you lift your own will to succeed to an entirely new level. Rule number 1 is to approach success as being inevitable. So having a positive attitude is the single most common thread among all winners. It separates people from the tens of thousands who simply give up, settle for less, or remain in unattractive situations. It's easy to build your will to succeed if you're ready to work at it. Like going to the gym, you need to practice. Now, it will not be news to you that if you truly believe in yourself, you will have the best possible chance of achieving the most you are capable of. Now is a good time to remind yourself of all the good things you have done and what you can do in the future. So where will you get these ideas? It starts with your past naturally. Start with what psychologists call selective perception. Namely, I want you to concentrate on positive things and ignore the negative. One way to do this is to write down positive things that you have done. All you need are short sentences. We call it your have done list. For example, I've increased profits. I attracted new business. I improved systems. I cut costs. I have been a fundraiser, and so on. Now you should go on to make another list. The idea here is to list positive things as part of what we call your can-do list. For example, I can get along well with other people. I can analyze complex facts. I can get things done quickly, and so on. Once you've prepared these 2 lists, you'll begin to realize the value that you have for your next employer. Rule number 2 is to get rid of any negative beliefs. Your second step is to get rid of beliefs that might inhibit your will to succeed. I want you to write down any negatives and weigh them carefully. Are you saying or thinking that things are bad, but is this the way they really are? There's no pie in the sky for me? It's a grim world out there? So psychologists tell us that beliefs we hold have a lot to do with the kind of world we experience. So for example, if you believe the economy is bad and firms are not hiring, you'll go through news and pay attention to those items about layoffs or decline in sales. On the other hand, if you believe that there are many areas of opportunity, then you will seek out new companies, new products, etc. And look at your negative thoughts. Then start to realize that you can change your beliefs about the way things are. It's very simple. Write down the positive side of every negative belief. So when you write down the positive side of every negative belief, you'll be left with positive beliefs, which is where you want to be. If you have a problem in this area, search out the good news. It's always there, and it's up to you to find it and focus on it. You'll never achieve what you're capable of until you have developed a positive attitude. Rule number 3 is to get your expectations higher and put them to work. Again, psychologists tell us that our expectations have a lot to do with the way things happen for us. The most dramatic examples are the athletes who, when they're asked about their success, often reply, "It was expected all along the way. I knew we would win." If you look at the lives of leaders in almost any field, they also reveal a common theme. Whether it's a scientist, an educator, a salesperson, a leader of industry, you'll find that each one of them had a positive, very positive expectation of themselves. These leaders tell us that it's possible to work out our expectations by using internal visualization. You practice visualizing good things happening to you. What we used to call daydreaming, experts now call positive imaging. If you set aside a short period of time every day and visualize yourself setting and achieving high goals, the important thing is to work on them every day. Practicing positive and eliminating negative is like gardening. Negative are the weeds and the positive are the flowers. You need to plant the flowers and you need to dig out the weeds. Let's take another example. Suppose you had an excellent interview, called twice afterwards, and you got no response. Do not assume they've lost interest. Instead, assume that they are busy, that most people could not get back to you when they say they will, and that they are still interested. Change the negative to the positive. Realize it's up to you to make things happen. Make the commitment in your mind. Decide now that your next meeting will be better than the first. Rule number 4 is to project a positive attitude to everyone. If you follow these 3 steps we've discussed so far, you can develop a confident self-image and positive expectations about the future. However, now you need to project some of these internal positives to the outside world. You can start by talking to people about your positive expectations. When you do this, It reaffirms your own commitment. You have put yourself on the line. You let others know that you are committed to achieving your goals. Let these ideas flow into your general attitude and begin to do as much as you can to help others. Why? Once again, experts tell us that in a give and get world, when you see yourself doing things that helps others, it starts a back and forth movement of energy that grows. It slowly builds momentum until it reaches a point where it becomes obvious to anyone who meets you that you project a certain kind of confidence and good feeling about yourself. This in turn is going to create a kind of environment where people make positive decisions about hiring. You'll have to work at this, but it's easy and it's fun. Good posture, a spring in your step, a firm handshake, a confident look in your eye, and comments which reveal a positive outlook can help you project your inside positives to the outside world. Rule number 5 is to understand how self-esteem, stress, and the mind-body link work. Just going to share with you a few observations about people who have succeeded far beyond their original expectations. One of the variables is the ability to recognize and act on opportunity. The other one that we'd like to discuss now is the ability to overcome setbacks and stress and build self-esteem that propels your success. How do people overcome fear of failure? They do that by sending themselves positive, healthy messages. They build their self-esteem by acknowledging their mistakes and weaknesses and downfalls rather than denying them. But they still discover positives and remind themselves and take pride in their smallest accomplishments. That's how it is with successful people. The ones who distinguish themselves in a job interview are the ones who are confident. To be confident, you have to stay projecting positive images to yourself. Time and time again, we've seen people succeed because they simply believe they could, and others fail because they thought they couldn't. Once you get your focus, certain people will literally will themselves to success. It's not to say they're unrealistic. They think things through, and somehow they arrange in their lives to facilitate their focus on job hunting. The key difference between them and many good people who want a new job but never seem to get it going. This is especially important when you're coping with unusual stress. Your mind will dwell on one thing, and you need to make it something good that enables you to take action. Another common thread is don't waste your time making excuses about other interviewers, companies, because these are not things you can control. It's like complaining about the weather. It has no effect, and it just makes you miserable. Instead, stay focused on your long-term goal and think of your achievements along the way as mini series of short-term goals. So you are succeeding. You are psyching yourself up every day and you keep feeling good about yourself. The last point is, of course, about feeling good is feeling good physically. Exercise, nutrition, your diet, and even your social interactions. The last rule is to make things happen by simply getting into action. Again, too many people are making excuses for themselves of why they're not getting into action. They don't have enough skills. I need to do this. I'm too old. There's the economy, etc. These people will lose their will to succeed and will become immobile. You, on the other hand, you're living the life of an achiever. You're going after your dream job. So you have positive expectations. So another common thread about successful people who have a will to succeed is that they're active people. Taking actions is an energy tonic itself. When people get into action on anything, they no longer have time to worry about whether they will achieve the goal or not. Instead, you know your goal, you're focused on it, and so you're intent on your actions. You know why you do that. There's no room for doubt or indecision. So let's review the 6 rules for building a will to succeed that can make a difference. Rule number 1, approach success as inevitable. It's going to happen. You're going to get the job. Get rid of any negative beliefs. These are weeds in your garden. You need to root them out and turn them into positives. Set your expectations higher and put them to work. The bigger the dream, the better. Project a positive attitude. You want to go from internalizing that positive visual image into projecting it to the outside world. Understand how your self-esteem, your stress, and the mind-body link work. You cannot be immobilized by fear. And finally, make things happen by simply getting into action. By getting into action, staying focused, and having intent, you are going to have a successful career. Okay, take that in mind and go get that job.